Okay, our next unit is going to be congruent triangles. Congruent triangles. Congruent means same shape, same size. So when we have a triangle, we label it by the vertices A, B, C, and then we have this triangle. We will label it D, E, F. If I say triangle A, B, C is congruent to triangle D, E, F, what I'm saying is these two triangles are the same shape, same size. And when we list these, order matters. Order matters. What we're saying is angle A, the first letter here, is congruent to angle D. Same way, second letter, angle B is congruent, or the same as angle E. And my third one will be angle C. The third letter here is the same as angle F. So A, the first one goes with the first one, the second one goes with the second one, and the third one goes with the third one. A, B, C, D, E, F. And these are the marks. 1, 2, and 3. That's how we show the angles are congruent. Similarly, we show sides are congruent in the same way. Side AB, the first two letters, 1, 2, 3. If I put them in order, 1, 2, 3. The first two letters, side AB, is congruent to the first two letters here. Same. Then if we move on, BC is the letters 2 and 3, is congruent to letters 2 and 3 here. And then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. These marks are how we show that triangles are congruent, how the parts of the triangles are congruent to each other. Now, we have shortcuts. We have shortcuts that allow us to prove that triangles are congruent. The first one is side, side, side. That means if we look this side is congruent to this side. I have another side on this triangle that is congruent to another side on this triangle. And let me get a new color. I have one more side that is congruent to this triangle. If the three sides match up between the two triangles, you can say they are congruent because of side, side, side. I need to go back. The first thing we always need to look for is you always need to look for shared sides. They are congruent. And vertical angles. They are also congruent. Remember, the vertical angles are across from each other. So, if like on problem 1 of your review sheet, if I have a figure that looks like this, do I have any shared sides? I do between these two triangles, so I'm going to mark them congruent. I don't have any vertical angles, but if I also know I have one shared side for each triangle, I have 3 sides that are congruent. side, side, side. I have 3 sides. That's what I have. I can say they're congruent. The next one that we're going to use is side, angle, side. If I had a figure that looked like this, and I'm going to tell you this side is congruent to this side, and this side is congruent to this side. Can I prove these 2 triangles are congruent? I can, because let's look here. Do we have any shared sides? And but as I'm looking, I see we have vertical angles. So I have to mark those 2 congruent. And so now I have this side, this angle, and this side. On this triangle, I have a side, an angle, and a side. And on this triangle, I have a side, an angle, and another side. So I have side, angle, side. So far I have 2 angles marked that are congruent. I have this angle is congruent to this angle. This angle is congruent to this angle. And do I have a shared side? Always check for the shared side. So now I have an angle, angle, side. That is another one of our shortcuts. Angle, angle, side. There we go. And then the third one we can also have, this one's just a little bit different. When I look at this, let me refresh my computer. When I look at this, do I have any shared side or vertical angles that need to be marked? Yes, I do. So now when I look at this, I have, let me get my colors here. I love my colors, you know that. I have one angle here that is congruent to one angle here. I have one side here that is congruent to one side. And then I have another angle that is congruent to another angle. So that is my last way. Angle, side, angle. Those are my shortcuts right there. They will be on top of the test review that you are given. Those 4 ways. There is one other way. If you get to a problem and it doesn't match any of these, the last thing you need to check is it a right triangle? If it's a right triangle and we have a hypotenuse and a leg that are the same, we can prove that they are congruent. So if I have something that looks like this, my square tells me that it's a right triangle. And I know if I'm saying this is congruent to this because it's across from the right triangle, it's the hypotenuse. And then look, I have a shared side here. So I have the hypotenuse, that's the H, are congruent to each other. And I have a leg. So that is right there, the leg. So I have a hypotenuse and a leg. This only works on right triangles. Those are the 4 ways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shortcuts that you can use and that you will use when completing your test. And then when we label triangles, remember that order matters. If I'm going to give you these 2 triangles and I'm going to say A, B, C, and this will be G, H, I, and I'm going to say this is congruent to this, this is congruent to this, and this is congruent to this. What you're going to do is look at this, and I'm going to say A, B, C is congruent to, and what other triangle? Okay, A is between 1 and A, right here, is between 1 and 2. So where's my I'm going to look up here and I'm going to see that G is between 1 and 2. See, I've got, when I'm looking where this A, where is A? A is between 1 hash mark and 2 hash marks. So I go to my other triangle, I find the exact same thing, and I know G has to come first. Then I go to B, and I see B is between B is between 1 and 3. So I go over here, I find 1 and 3, and that is I. And then C is between 2 and 3, is between 2 and 3, 2 and 3, that would be H. Remember this, when you're labeling the triangles, they have to be, the order matters. The first one matches with the first one over here, and they will match by the markings that you see on the triangle and also by the order of the letters in the naming. If you have any more questions, let me know.